Hey, welcome back to OC Outdoorsman. Well, as you can see, there are quite a few of us fishing out of Newport Beach this morning. Out in front of me there, you'll see Pierce, Corey, 2 Glenn, and Francisco. We're launching from this little beach adjacent to a fishing pier, and it is high tide. Now, this is not a spot I normally launch from, especially when I'm alone. But when you're with a good-sized group like this, it's great because you're able to help each other lower your kayaks from the beach into the water. So, good launching spot if you're with a group. So here we're just outside of the launch area, still inside the harbor, and behind me you can see our mini fleet of kayak anglers as we prepare to head out into deeper water.
How deep do you think we're fishing today?
No more than 200 feet. Well, as I was preparing for this trip yesterday, I realized a bit late in the evening that I was fresh out of squid. So I had to run to the market. I ended up going to Wild Forks and they only sold squid in packs of 6, and they're thoroughly cleaned, and it was really meant for human consumption. So this is not what I normally use as bait, but I had no choice. So I generally buy a box of 4 to 6 pound box of frozen squid, but in this case I didn't have that. So let's see how we do. So we're in a little over 180 feet of water for this first spot. I just spent the footage here as I reel the fish up from the bottom. Oh, nice one. Might be a copper. Yeah, this is the keeper. Nice red. As you can see, conditions were pretty good again this weekend. The swells were pretty low and there was virtually no wind as far as the early morning went, but you'll see that as the day progressed, conditions started to get a little worse. Alright, let's send this guy back down. Well, my first waypoint wasn't producing as it normally does, so here we decided to move to my next waypoint, and it's fairly deep. It's close to 300 feet. And here I'm going to land my first double of the day. Oh yeah!
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Hey, you want the small one? Yeah, it's bigger than my first one. Here we're now at my third waypoint, and as you can see, fishing wasn't nearly as great as it was opening weekend. Oh, no. Just the one. Not bad. I'll keep this one. GoPro, stop recording. Feels like a small one. Dark croaker. Here we're now at my 4th waypoint in about 185 feet of water, and as you can see, conditions are getting a bit more choppy and it is now more windy.
Yeah, it's been slow going today.
Well, because the winds started to pick up and the swells were starting to get bigger and more frequent, we decided to head back. Corey and Pierce were already back in the harbor, so it was just Francisco, Glenn, and I that were now heading back towards the harbor. Just wanted to remind you, especially those of you that are new to kayak fishing, I highly recommend that you invest in a quality marine radio. You want to be able to communicate with the people that you're out fishing with, especially if you run into an emergency or if someone needs help. I use a Standard Horizon HX890. It has GPS and the ability to broadcast your longitude and latitude to people if you ever get lost. So there's this emergency distress call button on the side. Again, I highly recommend that you invest in something of quality if you're serious about kayak fishing. It's also great to be able to reach out to people when you start to lose sight of them. And of course, if you stumble upon a good spot, you can always let everyone know. Well, here I'm making my approach to the landing point. You can see the water is getting shallow, as you can now see the bottom. So we covered over 7 miles of water today going to the different waypoints. But although the fishing was slow, it was great to be out there. Well, if you would, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to OC Outdoorsman. Thank you.